I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shallow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an Eli. A couple teams that I won't allow him to play for.
Whoa.
This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it. Ain't
And
no
if
in
he
the world.
doesn't listen to you?
Who? No, you must mean owners, like not my son.
Rounds 2 and 3 has passed, and Sheuder Sanders hasn't been selected. 102 picks, 5 quarterbacks selected.
NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback. Clueless. All that, no idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many
they say we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterback. They don't.
Now, in case you've been living under a rock, you know the NFL draft has just taken place. And the biggest talk has been Deion Sanders' son, Sheuder Sanders. Where will he get drafted? He didn't make it in the first round, which a lot of people thought. Didn't even make it in the second round, but he became a day 3 pick. Ironically, the same team he got drafted by is the same team his dad allegedly was saying he didn't want him to play for. The same team a lot of teams projected him to go to. I don't think this was by accident. So let's take a deep dive. Let's really look at everything that transpired. First on the clock, you had the Tennessee Titans, who needed a quarterback. They went with the best quarterback in the draft, and Cam Ward. We all seen that one happen. Second, you had the Cleveland Browns, a clear quarterback needy team. They decided to opt out and trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who didn't need a quarterback. They traded up to take Travis Hunter, who was arguably the best player in the draft. Third, you have the Giants, another team that didn't need an immediate quarterback because they just signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. They went with edge rusher Abdul Carter out of Penn State. Fourth on the clock, you had the New England Patriots, a team that already has a quarterback in place. They went with the offensive line. With them going with the O-line is to give quarterback Drake May some protection. And now fifth on the clock, you think they take Sheuder Sanders, right? With a team like the Cleveland Browns, who has Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson, who we know is pretty much out there on their roster. Wrong. Now let's fast forward through the draft of teams who we felt like could have used a quarterback. Later on in the draft, you had the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't take a quarterback either. Okay, maybe the New Orleans Saints would take him.
What?
They took a different quarterback. Actually, wait a minute. Let's rewind a little bit. The New York Giants moved up. They taking a quarterback. Is it Sheuder Sanders? Nope. Only possible team that possibly could take him later on in the draft with all these teams already having a quarterback in place would be the LA Rams, because Matt Stafford is 37, almost on his way out. They decided to go a different direction. Now it's on to day 2. This is the day Sheuder Sanders will surely get drafted, right? Steelers, Raiders, all these teams available. Nope, neither took him. It took all the way till day 3. Fast forward to the 5th round, 144th pick. There was Sheuder Sanders getting drafted. Let's take a deep dive into this. Now, if you notice, he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns already took a quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. The Cleveland Browns are the same team Deion Sanders said he would not let his son play for. Now, let's look at this. The NFL is a business before anything else, correct? So it took all the way from day 3 to a guy who we thought was for sure going to be a lottery pick. How often does that happen? Hardly ever. The NFL draft this year already generated the second most viewership from day 1 since 2020. And that's when the pre-pandemic was going on and Joe Burrow, after just winning the national championship, entered the draft. So you knew it was a lot of hype behind that one. You see in Shedur's video about him getting drafted to the Browns, how happy he was. The same franchise where His dad said that he would not let him play for. But why did the move change? Why did it take all the way from here to a team that could have got him 5th overall, or even higher, or even lower, I'm sorry. Why did it take them all the way till day 3? Well, like I said, the NFL is a business. So since people don't usually watch the draft on day 2 or day 3, but now, since everybody's asking the question, when will Shedeur get drafted? And that's taking over the entire draft, taking away from all these kids getting ready to fulfill their dream. All the talk is about Shedeur. Viewers is going to watch all the way up till day 3. They're going to make sure they see it to see the moment Shedeur get drafted. The NFL literally just won. No matter what. All the people saying they was going to boycott, they're not going to boycott. And even if you do, there's billions of other people that are still going to watch the NFL draft. So regardless, the NFL draft is winning. They're going to get a lot of money off of this. And in the end, they still won. Shedeur was always going to get drafted. He was never, even if he didn't get drafted, he was going to be on a roster. Some team would have signed him, whether it's for leverage, for depth. Regardless, he was going to be on the roster. But the NFL not only made sure that they got their money, but they gave Sheuder Sanders a reality check, and Deion Sanders, for the most part, basically telling him, look, you or no one else is bigger than the league itself. And you're not above anyone else, and you will apply the rules just like everyone else will. And they pretty much showed him. I mean, you don't think it's ironic the same team that he could have went to, and the same team his dad was hinting that he wouldn't let him play for, ironic, that's the team that drafted him late. So not only that, now you miss out on millions of dollars that you could have made. And the NFL made all this money for viewership. Really have to sit there and really think about this. Shedeur's tweets kept saying, everything happens for a reason. Trust God. This was God's plan. This was God's work. This was the NFL's plan. The NFL is always going to be, the business period is always going to be one step ahead of everyone else. And this was their time again, showing you you're not bigger than the league and no one else is. So do you really think that this just happened by design? I don't think so. I think the NFL knew exactly how they wanted to play it and knew exactly what was going on. But they wanted to basically humble him. Now they're going to put you on a roster. This is the first time in Sheuder Sanders' career where he's at the bottom of the depth chart. You're the 5th quarterback on the depth chart. First time in your career. Now you're going to have to really work hard, work for everything you got, because you have 4 quarterbacks ahead of you. So if not for some unfortunate injuries, you're going to have to work twice as hard to show that you belong. Now this gives you enough motivation to do that, but just like you are, there's the Dylan Gabriels, there's the Kenny Pickett still trying to get his contract, still trying to prove that he belongs in the league. Joe Flacco, he's pretty much probably content with being a mentor in case it's time. Deshaun Watson, we know he has injury issues, so you're probably looking at realistically a 3 quarterback race, and all 3 are young. But it's going to be interesting to see, but the NFL just won, and now everybody's going to be tuning in. More people is going to watch the Browns to see how this quarterback camp go. And it's just all around. The NFL played this perfect, made sure they got paid. They got it all the way to day 3 where everybody can continue to watch, where the day where people usually don't watch. And yeah, they did things their way, and they made sure that the message was clear that they got to the Sanders family. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. We out.